You guys seen Grayson Waller? You got the Dusty Cup later? Kick ass, man. Somebody hit my music.
Fuck you, PrizePicks! Hate you. Fuck you, PrizePicks!
But I've had enough.
Fuck you, PrizePicks! All the skin, man, I hate a no. Fuck you, PrizePicks! My whole clique about to fuck you up. Fuck you, PrizePicks! Population, we are not the same. Fuck you, PrizePicks! We came to win and take everything. Logging in, make my picks, I'm about to get this red. It makes me harder than Candace Parker giving me head. Rage said if I don't win, then I'ma come pick you up. Carpool into the bridge, if we a fam, then we all jump. Betty under hope, she rolls her knees or ends up dead. Whatever it takes, I'm trying to make this money with my friends. WNBA season so much free you won't believe. Join the Discord union, pay a top support and more. At least I'm kidding, we really winning the ghost of the industry. Johnny and Clyde, they don't want the smoke, we taking all their money. Ain't no selling now. Population, we are not the same, we do this every day now. Everybody say, fuck you, PrizePicks.
Hate you.
Fuck you, PrizePicks.
Hate you.
Fuck you, PrizePicks.
Hate you.
Fuck you, PrizePicks.
But I've had enough.
Fuck you, PrizePicks. You can keep your rotten taco. Fuck you, PrizePicks. Bob and Johnny, that's your motto. Fuck you, PrizePicks. And if you really wanna win, fuck you, PrizePicks. Come and rock with population.
Fuck you, you piece of shit. Fuck you. Fuck you, you piece of shit.
And here we go.
Here we go. For the last 3 days of the Balking Dead, welcome back. It is Wednesday, and it happens to be Get Back Day, as I did lose my only bet yesterday, and I always say I do not bet to bet. I let the spots speak to me. Well, we got a lot of action today as the spots are speaking, and they are here. And it's nice, guys, that Get Back Day this month have fallen on days where I end up having mass action. So, yeah, it's time to get some money back. And that's where we are at today. Enough small talk. Let's get to the damn money. This show is sponsored by W. It's a clean energy powder with no come down to your day. And by going over to W.com, you're going to get 10% off your first order by using the best promo code on God's green earth. If you haven't already, do me a favor and smash that like button and make sure you have them notification bells on and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I will read out everyone's best bet at the end of the show. Just please hashtag we be pubbing in your comments so I know which ones to scroll through. On Wednesdays, guys, we start this show off with a bang. Some may call it blast. Me, I like to call it a yopper. But on this show, we call it Jack of the Day with Connor Mack.
Well, see you later.
Man, bro, it happens to be like our last freaking Wednesday, bro, and I've got these freaking breakdowns like to bring people in. I don't even got to type the shit up anymore, bro. I'm just like, oh, it's Connor? Oh, I can spit. Let me spit. Miggity. But let's go, bro. We got 2 more days of fucking baseball to talk with you. Let's fucking make it. Let's make it count. Let's
get it.
First game up is a game that means something to both, actually, as the Braves want the 1 seed overall and the Cubs just want into play. And we're going to talk us some Cubs and Braves.
Let's get to it. I was like, what's going on here? I'm logged out, so sorry. That's the problem. I need to get logged back in to shoot you
that was my
for the
fault,
link.
bro. Like, I thought you were logged in. The one time I didn't shoot you the link, I'm like, oh, he's got codes.
No, it's my fault. I didn't get logged back in. It's my fault. I'm going to get logged back in.
I log myself out all the time, bro, and they tell me not to. And then I'm like, hey, I need another code.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. You got to keep asking for the code. But that's for other shit in the back. No, let's get to the baseball here. I had the over yesterday, thought there'd be a bunch of runs, and I think we get more runs today here in this game. Sharpie, we know what Taillon's done all year. He's pitched a little bit better down the stretch. I still don't trust him. And on the flip side, Darius Vines, this guy's been decent, but now he's in the bigs here. In a game that means nothing to the Braves. It means a ton to the Cubs. He's got a low 90s fastball. He's got a good changeup. But that makes me want to go right to you could pick a ton of Cubs, I think, that could get to him. But I got to go back to him. He finally went 3 for 4. I haven't played him in probably 10 days. I'm going to Cody Bellinger here in this spot because I got his RBI at plus 130. I looked around. There's a lot of plus 125s, but I found a 130. He went 3 for 4 last night, 3 singles. But Give me the RBI. Give me his jack. I found a plus 500 with this home run. I got to take it here off this rookie.
Definitely like some Cody bombs. And
Oh,
something I noticed last night
also,
was Watson back home.
yeah, real quick, Ronald Acuna too. If you have plus 450, which I've seen out there, take him. Just he's in the lineup. He's 1 for 3 off Tyon. There's a few guys who hit him well. Usually lefties hit him better, through the years off him. Rosario's down there, but if you got 450 on him, I think he just hit the 40, hit another one yesterday. At that number, I think it's worth a sprinkle as well.
Yes, sir. And we're going to head on in over to a divisional matchup where the Rangers just got a win right now, and they couldn't get one last night. So is tonight the night? Rangers versus Angels. Who we taking?
Man, I don't know. They're playing a bad Angels team. This seems like the game for offense. And I think, you could look Marcus Semien and a few of them, but I'm just sticking with one guy in the RBI, Corey Seager. I think he's 2 for 4 or 2 for 5 off Canning, both doubles. I want him after. I think he had an 0 for last night. He didn't get a ribby. I was going through the box score. I love it against Canning. I got plus 135. So if I get that with his RBI, I'm on it. Corey Seager, RBI. That's it.
Definitely love me some Corey Seager. I'm going to have to look at that today as well. As yesterday, bro, Detmers had such good numbers versus everybody but Semien in that lineup, bro. So I was oh, Detmers is going to have a day. The books told me Detmers was going to have a day, and he did. Now, I'm with you. I think today's the day Texas does go out there and fucking slug these dudes. They're the Angels. They're the poverty team in the league right now.
They got to beat them. It's baseball, but
it's baseball, but Reed Detmers has owned them. So at the end of the day, pass.
Hey, I was on them in Texas with a no. I forget that what I had bet. I just lost because he threw like a no-no. Remember that? And the Rangers were red hot. That was like a month and a half ago. So
yeah. Someone texted me like, "Why aren't we on Detmer?" I'm like, "Cause it's the Rangers and they've been killing lefties." Like, fuck you. I don't want to bet that shit. But he had a day. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And today is the day to back the Rangers, I believe, as well. Another team, bro, where I just can't believe the shit that keeps coming out this Padres dugout. We're going to talk Padres and Giants in a second. And I just saw a tweet from Josh Hader. Josh Hader said that he wasn't available for 4 outs the other day when they needed 4 outs because they're not in a playoff race. Oh, yeah, they've got to win out just to make it. But, what's the odds of that, he said. Oh, my God.
You get paid to do this very well. Like, I know, now they're going to be out. They're still technically in. They need like everybody to lose.
Shot him in the arm, bro, the day they needed him.
Yeah.
Wow, bro. You traded for this guy, bro. He's supposed to be elite, top of the line, and he's got a vagina underneath those pants. Oh, yeah, let's talk to Padres and Giants. I mean, it has nothing to do with what I had to say about Hader. There was so much drama in that clubhouse for that to be put on top. For this guy to go blow Blake Snell's no-hitter, go fuck yourself, Hader. I used to like Hader. I almost called him the wrestler named Jake Hader. That's Josh Hader. Fuck him, bro. I don't like him no more. You're a bitch.
Yeah, Jake Hader, that's a good one. That is the wrestler. Is that his real name, right?
Yeah, that's actually his real name. He was a UFC fighter who went to wrestling.
Yeah.
And he's Jake Hader.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering that. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to the Padres. Yeah, I am a little bit with Seager. It's kind of like this guy. I think he's got to play. And I didn't take him. Is Manny Machado. Similar. Elbow. I think Seager's, x-rays were negative. I'm just on it. I'm on the RBI. I didn't go for the home run. It's way too low. I think you get a knock or two off Canning. So good question, though, Joe. And it's kind of the same thing. Manny Machado, 5 for 14. He has 3 doubles. I don't mind. His RBI is only 135. His homer's 425. But I'm going to go to a guy on the top. I'm just going to sprinkle the home run. I think he gets over his 1.5, but it's even money everywhere. And in the leadoff spot, you already have one at bat where if you don't hit a home run, you don't get the RBI. So you need the other 3. That's automatic, So you're already down 1 unless you go yard. And he hasn't had a ton of RBI, so I'm just not going to pull the trigger on Bogarts, even though it's plus 200. Padres swinging it well there. But 700, he's 6 for 13, 2 doubles and a home run. Oh, Sean Manaea, where does this guy come from, Sharpie? He's pitching well, the best in his career the second half. Does it continue? I don't know. Padres are red hot. But I'd go back to Juan Soto after 2 home runs last night. Even against lefties, he's always hit them well. His RBI is plus 175. And if you even want his jack, it's right around 450. But look for his RBI. I think Bogarts gets on, even though I'm going to have his home run at plus 700. But Soto's RBI at 175. Take it.
Definitely. Soto's locked in, and he's one of those guys you ride when he's locked in, bro. And he's actually been locked in for a few months, actually. But no, he's seeing the ball well, and he hits lefties well for being a lefty, actually. So I don't know where Manaea's gotten good from, bro. I think it's because they've been using an opener, maybe. Maybe it's because he's not seeing the top of the lineup 3 times. Maybe the Giants figured that out. I don't know why all of a sudden he's just become elite.
I don't know. It's baffled me.
You brought it up to me. I'm gonna go look at his pitch mix later and see if he's changed something this year. Because the Giants changed Gosman, bro. They switched Gosman to the other side of the rubber, and all of a sudden he was elite. Like what?
It's been short, because he was only going 3 1/3, like you talked about. The only last few starts where he started, Cleveland, Colorado, and then the Dodgers. Which was I just can't believe he just shut them down. I mean, he only had 2 Ks. What's key, though, Sharpie, which could be different with Manaea, is the walks. He's no walks in those last 2 starts. That's just not him. So, what do we get? I think the Padres can get to.
I do, too. So, appreciate you guys all for tuning in as I'm going to hit the quick recap of Jack of the Day. Do me a favor and smash that like button if you haven't already. And he's going to start off the day in the Cubs and Braves game. And he's going to take this old Dodger on the wall. He may be a little crooked, but that's because he's swinging. And he's going to take Cody Bellinger's RBI at plus 130 as well as touch on the home run at plus 500. And he's going to head on over to the Angels game where the Rangers, they got to win right now. And why not back one of their best bats? And we're going to take Corey Seager's RBI at, what did we get that number at?
Plus 135.
Plus 135 because Sharpie didn't write it down. Then we're going to head on over to one of the last games playing, and we're going to talk Padres Giants, one of the hottest hitters on the Padres lineup. Juan Soto's RBI is at a plus 175.
And sprinkle Bogarts.
And sprinkle Bogart's home run at plus 7.
Put some on at 700. Yeah.
700. Yeah. So smash that like if you haven't. We don't ask for much. Let these fine people know what you got going on, where they can find you. And someone has a question about Yelich for you.
Oh, they do? I didn't see it.
Yeah, they asked him.
You want to read it?
Yeah, what is your opinion, Connor, on Yelich's home run tonight? Is what they said.
I didn't go through him too much with Zach Thompson. He's hit lefties better. He's been hitting the baseball better, too. He's had some good days, multiple home runs. On that game, though, real quick, he's just not been hot lately, is Paul Goldschmidt. But it's hard to ignore. You've talked about, Sharpie, how good in his career he hits lefties. And he's 10 for 20 off Wade Miley, a pitcher that I like. He's 10 for 20 off him with 2 home runs. So I wanted to bring this up, so it's good I didn't get to, Yelich crazy there with his homer, but he's too good. He hits lefties too good. I'd look to him. If you can get over 4-1 his home run, and look to his even RBI or his total bases with
Bro, he threw away a sinker. That's what Sean Manaea's done this year.
Really?
Threw away a sinker. Last year he used a sinker 250 times. This year 10. That's the difference in Sean Manaea. He's not looking for ground balls where he was a ground ball pitcher.
Yeah, and you wouldn't get him half the time.
Oh, and he throws 4-seamer and slider, bro. That's his pitch. Bogart's fucking best pitch he hits is the slider. He's best in fucking
he owns
baseball at hitting the slider, bro. Ooh, Bogart's home run for sure today. Let's go.
I mean, he's 6 for 13. He has a couple doubles, the homer. Yeah, it was a must.
I mean, I live in San Diego, so I was listening to the Padres game the other day when I was watching Snell or something, and they said they were talking about Bogarts versus the slider, and he walked that game off, picked that slider up off the ground, and took it out for a home run.
Took it
And
deep.
they were like, you don't throw him a slider. And I was like, oh, and then I look right here. He's fastball slider. Woo-hoo-hoo. Slider sweeper, same fucking thing, bro. You're getting knocked by Bogarts today, is what that means. So
I agree.
glad
Get
we
it.
did a little bit of digging right there. So
Hell
feel
yeah.
good. And that means he's gonna be on base for Juan. Oh, parlay that bitch RBI with the fucking over 1.5. Where you at? Let them know where they can find you, C-Mac.
Just Connor Mac picks everywhere. Go check out the Hitting the Books college football videos and get our looks for Monday. It's Monday morning. You know how many games I actually bet on those games too? A lot. So and I have a lot of money out on Saturday. So just because I say pick this, pick that, it. I love it.
Adds
Though.
up. It adds up.
I know, but we go through every game. That's one thing we like to do is give out these games where other places probably give 5 games, and maybe we should do that. But we like to give out every game, most game on the board, like a college thing. Like baseball, we like to go through the card, whether it's on Jimmy's show or any show we do here. So
I'm sure you leave out the extras, but other than that, I get it. Well, tomorrow, appreciate you, my boy.
I'll be back.
I'm smacking.
Baseball is ending. Get it.
Ending.
But playoffs will be here. Plenty of money to be made.
I'm going to cry. Baseball's leaving me.
Well, see you later.
On this show, guys, we will talk the first line open up on a K-prop, also the best line available 30 minutes prior to the show. Then we will see where the value lies between the books and PrizePicks. Of course, this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go on over there and use that promo code PubSports. You will get a match deposit on your first deposit up to 100, minimum of 25. Do me a favor, if you like what you're hearing, smash that like button. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe as well. First guy on the board is Andrew Abbott at the Guardians, number 58 in the black book, striking people out 26.5% of the time while walking people 10% on the year. Morning line was 5.5 plus 115 on MGM, and the best line available now to that 5.5 is plus 118 on FanDuel. PrizePicks has him at a flat 5, where the lineup is out. Projected lineup, 6 righties, 3 lefties. The lineup is not out. My bad. We're going to start the day, guys, talking the fade of Andrew Abbott versus these Guardians for the second time this year, where the first time back in August, we cast the under 5.5 by the hook as he went 5 innings, had 5 strikeouts, and once again, they opened him up at a 5.5. Okay, that was an easy bet for me last night, as I had to put a half unit on the under until the umps got announced, as I do not want to be fully invested on a prop that I may want out of if we see a CB Buckner or a Miller or anyone of that ilk behind the plate. All you can really ask for, guys, is an equal ump, and let's just let the work play out. As I thought this number was straight off when they put him out, guys, and I had to put the half unit on the under 5.5 at minus 138. And the best line now to that 5.5 is at a minus 150, where a lot of the books have moved them to a 4.5. And we all know the Guardians are not the Guardians of the no-fly zone era, and the core is still there. And you can tell by the overall numbers they have if they've only struck out 15% of their bats over the last 300 plate appearances versus a lefty, and that's dating back to the first of this month. Now, the Guardians still are not hitting lefties. There is a chance he is out there for 6 innings today, yet I think 5 is the most he gets, even if he goes 6 innings, and I'm willing to bet that he don't get 6 today, as the Reds are in the playoff picture, but do need some help, and they need help to get in, and they got to try to win out, which also gives us the opportunity, if he does get hit early, they yank him, as this is a must-win time for these Reds. Now, this is also a team who don't strike out to lefties, in a must-win spot for the Reds, where they are projecting 3 lefties in this lineup, where, yeah, I wish they were only up to 2, but you got to eat the bullet sometimes, as Abbott does strike out lefties at a stupid Strider-esque 35% on the year, compared to righties just league average around 24%. So at the end of the day, I just need the umps to make sure that I can go for a full unit, as I already got a half unit on Abbott's under 5.5 at a minus 138. Next dude on the board is Tyler Glasnow versus the Red Sox. Number 4 in the black book, striking people out at a 33% clip while walking people 7.5% on the year. Morning line was 7.5, minus 130 on DK, where the best line available 30 minutes prior to the show was minus 120 on BetMGM. PrizePicks has a 7.5, whereas projected lineup, this lineup is out. It is 5 righties, 4 lefties. Next up, guys, is Tyler Glasnow at the Red Sox for the 3rd time this year. As his second game back from IL, he faced them going 5.1 innings, 1 earned run while striking out 6. When the lineup numbers said they were not walking, not striking out, but they were not hitting for the life of them. And then he faced them again back in September 6th when they jumped him up a strikeout. And I was like, watch this. I told you on the show, I was like, I don't know how it happens, because nothing in the numbers said that day that he should go out there and smack, yet they jumped him up. And I says, watch him go have a day today, as Tyler Glasnow had 14 strikeouts in 6 innings of work. When, like I said, nothing said jump him up. And now we get a 7.5, guys, as he was a 8.5 just a few weeks back when they did jump him up. So is it fishy that they put him at a 7.5? And no, I don't think so, as he is on the road here, yet his outs, that doesn't what makes sense to me. Like, why is it at a 17.5 at a bettable juice? He's only gone 6 or more innings in 8 of his last 10 games. And why is money coming in on his under for a K prop, where it opened up at minus 130 and then it started to come down? So that right there was a little confusing. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I go check and see how Tyler Glasnow's been when he's faced a team and he's not gone over the 17.5 outs. And I look at his first 5 games coming off the IL as spring training. So I did not look at those first 5 games. And since then, he is 3-2 to the over 7.5 when not going 6 innings, when just not going 6 innings. That's a fucking winning record. So, yeah, if I want in, there is definitely action, as even if the outs seem off, I think I get the K prop, guys. Let's talk about it as we talk about the past history and the projected lineup, which is no longer projected, but let's talk about it at first, because this is how they're going to make their lines. There was 8 people in that lineup with upwards to from 3 at-bats from upwards to 24, with a combined, oh my Lord, 39% strikeout rate in their at-bats versus Glasnow in the past. So why is the juice going down on this prop? Were people actually betting this under, guys? Because the books don't just drop juice just to drop juice from where they opened it. They drop it because they want action both ways. So they obviously got under action on this, and it's very confusing to me. It must have been those fucking jackasses who bet Verlander under and scared me off of him the other day, as I didn't understand why his line just started plummeting down. And I was like, oh my God. And I didn't bet Verlander, and Verlander went out and smacked his fucking K prop. So at the end of the day, the juice goes at how it's bet. We've got to pay attention to where it's opened. And where it's open says it should have been at a minus 130 to a minus 140. And that's where he was at, no matter what book you went and seen where he was open. He has a 40% win rate to the 7.5. That equates to a plus 110 when we're going to make a line before we take in taxes. All right. Now we got to take in that past history, as this team is only striking out 24%. That's bad. That's not terrible, guys. Bad is okay. Terrible is when we look to stick the knife in. Now, what do we do here? We got to add on 40 to 50 cents for the past history. So you go from plus 110, adding on 50 cents, and that's where you get minus 140, where one book at the time opened them at minus 130. They wanted the action. And yeah, this is where the line should have opened up. There's no fishy shit here. Now, the problem is there's fishy shit in the outs. And I had to go back and look at his outs. His covers is a great spot, a great app that I use to see top 10s of where their lines were at, where they closed out at, where they opened, whatnot, that type of thing. And he's been placed at a 17.5, 9 of his last 10 games, with the only time being an 18.5 versus the Los Angeles Angels. So that team was struggling really bad at the time. So at the end of the day, maybe his outs aren't a trap. This is where they put Tyler Glasnow, is what it seems to me. And now the lineups came out. They took out Devers. They put in Valdez, and we still got a 38% strikeout rate. Yeah, we've got a neutral up, and I've talked about this. That's all I fucking want. I don't care if I've got some dude who calls a bunch of strikes. I just don't want some dude who's a jackass. Call a ball, and a fucking strike a strike, and I love ya. And that's what we got here. I got a full unit on Glasnow over 7.5. I had it at -110 as that's where the offshores had it, and they may move it up. I haven't checked since I bet it where it's at now. At the end of the day, the Red Sox have been struggling versus high velocity since the beginning of this month. Now, they've only faced 2 high velocity aces. As you all know, I only bet 64 pitchers. And Dylan Cease went out there 7 innings, had 11 strikeouts, where Tyler Glasnow also had himself 14. I've got to take this over, guys. This is over the 15-day period of what I consider a back-to-back. We've got a career strikeout percentage in this lineup of 38%. We've got a team struggling versus high velo, and we've got an ace on the mound. Now, the only other guy they did see in this 21 or 26-day period since the first that I would bet on is Grayson Rodriguez. Grayson Rodriguez is not an ace. Now, Grayson Rodriguez, I do like to bet on him, but he got hit hard, but still ended up with 6 strikeouts versus this Red Sox team. So, once again, you can get hit hard and hit your K prop. Now, Tyler Glasnow can't. We've got Nate. We can't be getting hit hard. He has great past history versus this lineup. High velo's been dominating this team since high velo aces for the last 30 days. And I'm going to get right back in with Glasnow over 7.5 for a full unit at -110. Now we get to part of the show where we get to talk some titties. And no, guys, not the type you want to slap in your face and kiss. It's a pair of man titties. And I know people get down like that, but Sharpie don't play like that. So it's a spot where 90% of the cappers out there are saying it's free money. And the books have one-way action on a K prop, which we know the books don't ask for one-way traffic. And yet when they do, they are hitting at over 70%. Tarik Skubal is the titty capper play of the day versus the Royals. Number 33 in the black book. Striking people out 32% of the time while walking people 5% on the year. Morning line was 7+ -120 on BetMGM, where the best line available is 7+ -120, and it's still on MGM. PrizePicks has them at a 6.5. Projected lineup is 5 lefties, 4 righties. Now we got a spot with Skubal, guys, that I want to fade him. I've talked about it the last few weeks when we've been betting his overs. I found the key to betting this guy a long time ago. The place to play Skubal is out the division, as certain teams in this division has just been brutal to him, including these Royals, where in 10 starts, he has a 1-7 record with a 5.5 ERA. And if we take in the projected lineup career K percentage, we have 5 guys in this lineup who have seen Skubal 3 or more at bats with upwards of 16, with a total of 47 bats in this projected lineup, and they are striking out at a 23% clip. And most of that clip, guys, is Sal Perez, as he struck out 7 of his 16 at-bats versus him. Yet when he don't strike out, he smashes the dog piss out of him, as he's hitting .438 off of him in 16 at-bats with those 7 punchies. As of now, guys, the Royals are not projecting any lefties in the lineup, which when I want to go under, I would like to see some, as Skubal is one of the rare breeds of lefties who have an issue at striking his own side out, as he has a career putrid 19% strikeout rate versus lefties, compared to an elite 28% from the right-handed side. So let's see how the Royals have been over the last 200 plate appearances versus lefties, as they are smashing the ball with a nice team isolated power near 200, yet they're striking out near 25% of the time. And we get a 6.5 at very bettable juice. He has hit this 7. He's hit 7 or more strikeouts, guys, in 7 of his last 10, including 7 straight. Yet they dropped the juice versus a team striking out 25% and a career strikeout percentage of 23%. 23 ain't great, but it's not enough to be like, we're just going to drop Skubal versus a team striking out, and all these cucks who just bet him over the last 3 days, who's laddered him the last 3 games, are going to now walk into this and get fucking titty fucked by a man. Nah. I always say you got to look to fade it, or you just got to look to let it go. Because if I can't figure the reason out, which sometimes I can't, I'm just like, I don't know how this happens. I don't want to fucking bet it. And, sometimes they hit it. Sometimes they know. It's normally by the hook on their last batter when they do hit it. So it's kind of wild how the books know it's going to be a struggle. So at the end of the day, I think this is going to be a tough outing for the kid. Granted, there are 4 guys in this lineup who haven't seen him. I would like those guys not to be striking out and to be hitting, so we have multiple ways of getting this guy out the game. But I am only looking under. You can only look to go under, and I will tweet out any extra action as this is the one game where I needed lineups to see if I was going to bet under on Tarik Skubal today. As the books want you to bet over, I don't do what the books want you to do. I've got to figure out why I want to go under, and then I'll go under. But as of now, they're begging you to bet Tarik Skubal's over. If you go on the Twitter and type in his name, you're going to see 90% of Tarik Skubal tweets out there saying over 6.5 strikeouts, easy money. No such thing as easy money, guys. Nah. We know that. We're better than that on this show. So at the end of the day, you can only look one way, and that's under. And I will tweet out if I pull the trigger as the gun is fucking already loaded on the Skubal under. We've got 80 in here, only 40 likes. Do me a favor, smash that like button as I don't ask for much. I give you out my bets, and the bets that we do have in is a half unit on Andrew Abbott under 5.5 at minus 138, as I needed to check the umpires before I moved him to a full. And then I got a full unit on Tyler Glasnow over 7.5 at minus 110, as the lineups are out for that with the ump already. Next guy up is Pablo Lopez versus the A's, striking people out at a 29% clip while walking people 6.5% of the time. Morning line was 7.5 minus 145 on MGM, and the best line available is 8.5 at even money on MGM. Projected lineup is 6 righties and 3 lefties for your Oakland A's. Now we got Pablo Lopez with a giant red flag. And that is no outs or earned runs available. Now, one book finally popped it out, but there's normally 3, 4, 5 books, guys. So we have to pay attention to this. This tells me he can be on a pitch count today, as they've already wrapped up the division, and Pablo will be starting game 1 for them in 5 days. So this is a stay ready, get ready spot, and I could see him being pulled from anywhere from 75 to 90 pitches, 5 or 6 innings, whatever the original game plan they have for this, they're going to stick to it, guys. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pablo Lopez gets pulled after 5 innings, 75, and it wouldn't damn be surprised. I'll be very surprised if they let him go over 6 innings today, as it means nothing for this guy to be out there other than to get in some side session type work versus some MLB freaking hitters to keep your mind sharp. So at the end of the day, guys, I only wanted to talk about him to be careful. Very, very careful. 9 strikeouts now. It was 7.5. 9 strikeouts. When anything that can go wrong, you're fucked on, let alone he's probably on a pitch count today on a little stopwatch. So there's just too many things going against it for me to even want to put any money in a spot that does normally sound good to bet Pablo Lopez in, other than they've wrapped up the division. They've done all that he's had to do. We bet him last week when the time was right. And we took a minus 1.5 that game because they had Pablo Lopez on the mound to wrap it up. The guy they traded the next Tony Gwynn for, which in their mind makes up for it. Does it make up for it? No, not in my eyes. I love pitching, but pitchers only play every 5 days. Luis Arias is out on that field every fucking day. So at the end of the day, you don't see many MVPs coming from the pitching spot. So, yeah. Careful betting Pablo Lopez. Wanted to give you a warning on him that I don't think they let him go past 6. Wouldn't be surprised if it's 5 today. Framer Valdez, guys, at the Mariners. And before we talk about Framer, we're going to take advantage of these guys pitching in their last games. I've got guys that marked down guys where last year they pulled them after 3 innings. They were done. That's it. Get your warm-ups. You're done. Go home. Very fucking careful betting overs on the last week of baseball, guys. Very fucking careful. You can get burnt in spots you never thought you'd get burned in. And I'm telling you this out of past experience. I lost some money last year when Corbin Burns had 5 strikeouts in 3 innings, and they pulled him at 44 pitches. They did that with quite a lot of people last year. Those were teams that were not in the playoff race, mind you, either. So you've got to look to back guys in the playoff race, or if they're out, be very careful. Next guy up, guys, which the next 2 up are in the same game. This is the best game on the board today. This game means something for both of these teams, and these 2 got some guys going. First guy up is Framber Valdez at the Mariners, striking people out 24.5% on the year while walking them just 6.5% of the time. Morning line was 5.5 minus 156 on FanDuel, where the best line available now is 6.5 at plus 118 on FanDuel, where PrizePicks has them at a flat 6. Projected lineup is 8 righties and 1 lefty. Now we got the matchup that everyone wants to talk about, the game where it can mean the playoffs or no playoffs for either one of these teams, guys. Is winner's going to have the lead, where Seattle can be a half game up or 1.5 games back, depending on the outcome of this game. And we get Framber, guys, at the Mariners for the Mariners for the 3rd time this year. As he's got hit hard in both of those games so far. He went 6 innings, 4 earned runs with 6 strikeouts when the Mariners were not walking, they were not hitting, and striking out 25% of the time. And then he had 5 innings, 6 earned runs with just 5 strikeouts when they were crushing the ball and striking out this time 27% of their at-bats. So it's seen him 2 times. Both times they were striking out. Only 1 were they hitting, yet he's 0-2 to his K prop versus them. And we're right back to the numbers we've already seen versus him, guys. We have a Mariners team who's not hitting lefties, as well as striking out near 25% of the time. So what shows up? I'm the one who preaches good pitching beats good hitting, and if there was a coach who would give one of their guys a leash, it's Dusty Baker, as he would give JV or Big Fram Diesel a leash, as they have shown they can get hit early and settle on in. And if Fram shows up today, oh Lord, what happens? As he ain't showed up in the first 2 games, and now they need him more than ever. So I figured, guys, I may want in on his over. Yet the book set Valdez's outs at 17.5 minus 145. As that don't equate to his win percentage to the over 10 his last games, guys, as he's hit that 8 out of his last 10. And his earned runs are also a telling sign to me that he's going to get smacked, as they have it juiced to the over at 2.5 when it should be super juiced to the under. So a spot that I thought I wanted involved in, and the books are showing me a few red flags, guys, is I don't know if I want to be on an over in a must-win spot, as they can't get pulled when the coach decides, and it depends on the score of the game. Now, like I said, this is a guy you would think has a leash, and the books are telling me he gets touched. I don't want to be involved on a K prop over if he gets pulled early, as Framber has gone over 6 innings, like I said, in 8 of his last 10, and 73% on the year. 73%. What? And they're giving you no, guys. At the end of the day, something tells me Fram ain't going 6. Can you hit your K prop while getting blasted? Yes. If he's getting blasted, they cannot leave him out here with how much this game means. So at the end of the day, there's just too many red flags in this one for me. Fram Diesel's outs should not be at 17.5 versus a team not hitting, not with a 73% win rate on the year, not with an 80% win rate over his last 10. So I've got to listen to the books. Listening to the books have kept me winning at a 70% clip this month. And is what it is. I got to let him be. Now, who I will not let be is Bryce Miller. Fuck, did I fuck that spot up last night, right? I told you guys, take the under 5 on the freaking PrizePicks for the K prop. No way was he going to get 5. And I tried to get cute with it. As I even said, I may want to double up on him today with this K prop under. I took his outs under. He got rattled in the first. They couldn't get to him. He started to get rattled in the 5th. They brought the pin up. He got through it. Is what it is. Wrong bet. Should have took the strikeouts under. You live and you learn. I'm not fucking around today, guys. Bryce Miller versus the Astros. Striking people out 22% of the time, while walking people 5% of the time. Morning line was 4.5 minus 160 on BetMGM to where the best line available is now 4.5 to the over at a minus 152. PrizePicks has him at a 5. And once again, I love the 5 because you get a push if he somehow gets 5 today, which that's the most he's ever had versus this team. When we get to projected lineup is 6 righties, 3 lefties. We've got 90 in here. We don't have 90 likes. Do me a favor, smash that like button as I do this out of my heart. Sometimes I will recap the show, guys, if we get to 60 likes, as I've already got 2 bets in. We've got the titty capper play of the day that I'm actually looking to bet once the ump comes out. And we also got a bet right here, Bryce Miller versus the Astros. I've got under 4.5 plus 132 for a half unit, as I'm also waiting on umpires as well. Because like I said on the under that we are already on today, I've been fucked by umpires, man, and I've learned to you got to respect who's behind the plate. And all I can ask for is a guy who's really a jackass to pitchers, or at least be equal. As in the Tampa Bay game, we got an equal ump, and that's all I can ask for. My guy will do his work. You just don't fuck it up. So the other side of the bump is Bryce Miller and what this beautiful pitching matchup is tended to be. And he gets his 3rd shot at the Astros this year. After pitching 2 gyms versus them already, going 6 to 6.2 innings, depending on the game, not allowing 1 earned run in any of these games, yet he's had 5 and 2 strikeouts when he's faced these Astros. The first game, guys, when he had 5, he faced the Astros team who was bottom 5 in isolated power and Altuve on the IL. So that wasn't the death squad lineup. And I have come accustomed to watching the Astros, guys, that, the death squad lineup is one you don't fuck with. And the second time, guys, where he only had 2 strikeouts, we were on his under that day. The Astros were dead last in isolated power, and the lineup was striking out 24% of the time, as well as had no Tucker in the lineup. As guys, we were on, like I said, the under that day, and I'm right back on it. As this Astros team is not bottom 5 in isolated power where he has seen them the first 2 times. They're top 5. And this will be the toughest matchup by the numbers versus him and these Astros. And these Astros are humming. And the key, guys, betting Miller's props this year is easy. Do you whiff? Because he throws the fastball 64% of the time. And most of the guys named not Maldonado in this lineup are elite when it comes not to whiffing and chasing, as well, guys, as the Astros being one of the best fastball hitting high velocity teams in all of baseball over the last 3 years, right next to the Atlanta Braves. So you want to throw fastballs versus the death squad lineup, which will actually be the first time he will face Altuve, Bregman, Tucker, your daddy, even Brantley now. He's part of the original death squad lineup. You've got guys who hit high velo and don't strike out 2 fastballs. So give me under 4.5 at plus 132. And if it moves up to 5.5, I'll fucking bet it again, as long as the umpire doesn't fuck with me. I will tweet out everything that I move to a full unit, as well as the extra plays that I do add in if I do take that under on Skubal. As guys, I am looking to fuck the bookie square in the eye hole, as I gave out 3 bets that I'm on, and I'm looking at 1 more. Shout out to the chat, guys. I will recap if we hit 60 on my other bets. If not, so be it. But let's read out the best bets of the chat. Justin is on a 3-game heater after coming off of a 8-game best bet winners, and his best bet today is our boy Jose Ramirez over 1.5 bases at even money versus a lefty. I don't hate that one bit. One fucking bit. So, other best bets as I roll through the chat and look for We Be Pubbin'. Abel is on Bieber under 17.5 outs at plus 110. Yeah, see, I'm scared of that. That seemed to me like the titty cat. The books tell me Bieber's having a really good day today. Tells me he's going 6 innings. He's hitting his. Why is all of his shit jumped up? You got to pay attention to that. They did that with Nola yesterday. They did that with Detmers yesterday. Both those dudes hit all their props. Pay attention to the books. Why did they jump Bieber up? Huh? That's one that you got to pay attention. Luke Murphy's talking about he had Glasnow over 17.5 last game against the Jays. Then he cruised through 5 1/3 and then walked 3 guys in a row and got pulled. That's our boy. But no, I definitely looked to make sure that it wasn't a trap, and it wasn't. I came to the conclusion that his outs were what they were. They put him at 17.5 at yeah. So get in where you fit in. Definitely like it. His best bet is Berrios' outs over 17.5 minus 125. I love it. Haven't done the whole breakdown on Berrios for me yet, as I am definitely looking at his over strikeouts, as he didn't hit a crazy day on his first back-to-back. So we know the rules there. Just got to look at the lineups. So let's just keep it rolling. Let's just keep it rolling. If we could see 5 lefties cover Kings, I might drop my whole freaking house, my whole house on that. Cover Kings is on Bryce Miller under 5.5 strikeouts at minus 140. You got a great line. Man, best I ever seen on the 5.5 was for like 30 minutes at a minus 158 on FanDuel. So, yeah, I'm on the under 4.5. I don't think he gets 5. I'm fuck juice. I'll pay I want plus money. Plus money. So, appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Appreciate all the best bets, as well as we did hit the 60 likes. Y'all rock, guys. I am on Glasnow over 7.5 at minus 110 for a full unit. I have a half unit on Bryce Miller under 4.5 at plus 132. I have a half unit on Andrew Abbott under 5.5 at minus 138. I will be looking to move all the half unit bets to full units once I look at the umpires. All I can ask for is give me an equal umpire. Don't give me CB Buckner. Don't give me that Cuck Miller or anybody related to them when you look at how bad they call balls and strikes. I am looking at Skubal under, as the titty capper play of the day is the over 7.5. The books have open arms begging you to bet the over. Now, that doesn't make me bet it. That's a tool I use, is reading how the books set their lines. Now, I was already looking to bet them under before I seen the janky shit that the books were pulling. So, at the end of the day, you could only go one way with Skubal. That's either under or let him be, as they're begging you to bet the over. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate the 60-something that smashed the like, the 90+ live. This is 2 more days left of baseball, guys, until we get to the playoffs. And if you guys know anything about me in the playoffs, I don't bet a lot of K-props. I switch over to the pitching outs a lot more, as you can take advantage of those type of spots in must-win games. And you're fucking with getting pulled early. And do you want to be on these high K-prop numbers where they got to win? They got to win. That's questions you got to ask yourself, and I've learned the hard way. No, the fuck you don't. So, until next time, guys, I'm Sharpie's Bets. This show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go on over there and use that promo code PUBSPORTS. You're going to get a match deposit on your first deposit. Minimum of 100. Oh, maximum of 100. Maximum of 100. Minimum of 25. That shows you Sharpie ain't smoked a bowl of weed in over an hour. Yeah, we need to get baked. I'm Sharpie's Bets. This show is produced by Big Show Picks and on Pub Sports Radio. Today's guest today was Connor Mack. This show is brought to you by the letters BBW. Until next time, guys, some say we be pubbing. I say pubbing we be. Yeah.
Keep firing, assholes!